So I'm brand new to making stuff on YouTube. I only have like a handful of videos up right now. And while making these videos, I realized that I've been using a lot of terms that not everybody understands the meaning of, words that don't really pop up in your everyday vocabulary. Specifically, I'll just talk about red pill, blue pill, whatever pill, and men going their own way. So I figured today we're gonna do a rundown of this weird internet vocabulary that's been growing over time. Also, forgive me in advance, I think I'm sick. I don't think it's the couve, but I'm gonna quarantine just in case. Moving on. So these terms like red pill, blue pill, blah blah blah, they actually all originate from the classic Hollywood film The Matrix. Now, I'm not going to explain the movie to those who haven't seen it because it's not really that important. What we do want to pay attention to is just one particular scene. So this guy in the movie offers Keanu Reeves, I forget his actual name, sorry, red pill or blue pill. If Keanu takes the blue pill, he wakes up at home and life goes on like normal, like nothing had ever happened in the first place. But if he takes the red pill, the truth behind the universe will be explained to him. It'll open his mind to all these crazy ideas and answers that like he's never thought of before. Keanu will ascend to this higher level of being. He'll be exposed to this vast pool of knowledge that isn't typically known. Okay, so that's how this scene in the movie works, but how does that translate to like Reddit and 4chan and all this stupid shit? How do I, someone who is not in the Matrix, take these pills? Well, let's talk about it. So unfortunately, taking the red pill isn't as exciting and crazy as it is in the movie. You don't get like hordes of agents that you have to fend off, and you can't like fly or any cool shit like that. But the selling point is that you wake up and see everything around you isn't as it seems. Ooh. You realize that there's a hidden meaning behind everything, and attaining what you want is as easy as watching a YouTube pickup artist harass women. So a guy that's red-pilled is usually a guy who's been deeply hurt by a woman at some point in their life. Maybe he fell in love with a girl and was rejected, had to see her start dating someone else.
I snuck away when you weren't looking because you're so ugly!
Probably a more conventionally handsome guy or woman, whatever. She can do whatever she wants. And this caused him to think that he was probably rejected because women only want buff and handsome guys with money and a nice car. That's usually how their way of thinking goes. It's all materialistic shit with them. So this causes him to think all girls are the same and all girls just want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting. It lights this fire inside of him, like this deep-seated hatred for women because he thinks that they're all gold-digging bimbos or something, when in reality she probably just doesn't like you. There's no hidden meaning. Sometimes you just don't feel certain ways for certain people, which is a crazy concept to explain to a lot of these guys apparently.
What do you mean you don't agree with me? Do you know who you're dealing with?
So while normal people will take rejection as what it is and will just move on, people who are red-pilled believe that the whole dating game is rigged, and that makes them furious. This is that hidden truth that was talked about in The Matrix. The whole seeing beyond the veil and realizing that reality isn't what it seems. They have this way of thinking that's like, people don't fall in love and live happily ever after. The reality is that Stacy will leave you when you have nothing left to offer her, or when another beautiful, more handsome Chad finally rolls along. That's how they see it, right? They think, no, I wasn't rejected because I'm lacking personality. No, it's because I don't have muscles and a Tesla. That's gotta be it. That's what these dudes honestly believe, which is fucking baffling. They're very critical of women and believe that men are being oppressed. They always bring up rates of like men dying while working dangerous jobs, talking about how men typically don't win custody battles over their children in like divorce court. They're sort of the male version of those like SJW memes, except they want men to be on top. So while doing research, I realized that a lot of red pill channels are actually like these really fit buff dudes who give out dating advice, like tips and tricks. Usually you'll see them posing with like a semi-attractive girl as a way to advertise their audience, like, look, I made it to the top with my 6 easy steps, you can get there too, just buy my book. Actually, while doing research for this, I came across a channel called Austin Dunham Vlogs. He does a pretty good job at explaining the difference between red pill and black pill, and I gotta say, like, I respect this guy. This whole time I've thought that like all red pill dudes are just these angry, spiteful little man children wishing they could get laid, but this dude is jacked. He's got a nice car, a nice apartment, he has all this nice stuff that he's clearly had to work very hard to earn himself, and I respect the fuck out of that. So it's all you red-pilled little man babies who are sitting around getting more and more angry, follow in this dude's footsteps, please. Do better. That's sort of the problem I have with these like red-pilled MGTOW sort of guys. It's like they're so hyper-focused on sex, like it's just weird. It's not that big a deal. It's not much different from just J-O-ing at home, you know? It doesn't change anything. You don't grow a set of wings after you've done it for the first time. It doesn't matter. All it does is build this sort of ego of like, oh, I got laid, but like that doesn't get you a college degree. That doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't make you any better than who you are when you're not having sex. You know what I mean? You need to stop seeing girls as like this game to be played and see them as a person, which they are, believe it or not. And like, why do you need a girlfriend? Why do you need someone else's approval to feel whole? Maybe what these guys want is the illusion of a relationship. They want like a pet or like a show dog, someone to not only accept them for their questionable behavior, but to love them for it too, like a mommy or something.
You're a nerd. And no shaggy head or utensil on your hand is ever going to change that. It's just a fact of life. Get used to it. Embrace it. Make it your own.
Okay, so that was the red pill, but as you'll remember, there are two pills being offered in the original scene. Red pill for the adventure, blue pill to just go back to normal. So how does that one work? Well, the blue pill is sort of a normie. It's also like an insult that these guys use, like, oh, you're just some normie blue pill, get out of here. Which in reality, if you're blue pilled, you're kind of just a normal dude. Like, the fundamental beliefs of a blue pilled male is that typical, oh, you just need to be yourself, there's plenty of fish in the sea. It's really just optimism, really. While red pill dudes are full of like spite and just hostility and cynicism, blue pill dudes are just optimistic. That's really all there is to it. It's someone who believes that looks don't matter and just kind of putting yourself out there is all there really is to do, and they just go on living like like none of this shit matters to them, which is like an insult to these red pill dudes. Like, oh, I'm not normal. Ooh. And finally, we enter the abyss that is the black pill. We talked about how red-pilled guys can be really spiteful and hate how rigged the game is and all that sort of stuff. But someone who's black-pilled is a pure doomer, a true cynic who sees improving as useless. They think, yeah, the game is rigged, but attempting to make any sort of move or crying about it is hopeless and meaningless. There is no getting better. Unless you were born beautiful and perfect, then you have no chance. These guys are like the bottom of the barrel. They're truly at the far end of the abyss. They've given up on trying at anything and hate people who try. So there's this term in the black-pilled community known as look maxing, and that's when you try every method possible to look as good as you can, whether it be like a nice haircut, buying extravagant things to come off as more alpha, using steroids to go beyond their physical limits, and even penis enlargement pills. Like, whoa, dude.
What the You want penis enlargement pills?
If there's a way to boost yourself even higher, then these guys will do it purely to get laid. If this is sounding a little bit familiar, it's because it is. Another term for dudes who are black-pilled is incel. As you may remember from one of my last videos, YouTube's very own killer incel, Elliot Rodger, tried his best to attract women with materialistic goods. That hatred for women that Elliot had is something that all black-pilled dudes have in common. Sure, they'll go out of their way to do things to get laid, but they still treat women as lesser beings. I watched this mini documentary on this guy who's like a self-proclaimed incel. It's one of those Vice documentaries. So he's showing this female host like how he gets on with other incels on this forum, and it's fucking depressing, dude. It's a bunch of dudes talking on their webcams and like spouting all this hateful shit and making really offensive jokes. Like, it's full of those people that are like, oh, I have a dark sense of humor, then say the N-word like 10 times in a row, and they laugh till they're blue in the face about it. You know what I mean? One of these guys shits his pants on camera, and the main guy goes, oh, there he goes again. It's this joke he does all the time where he poops his pants at. And I thought, like, this is what you do? This is what you surround yourself with? You know, like, instead of being productive, I don't know, getting a hobby like most people do, make real human connections, you just sit there watching this dude shit himself as like a joke? The black-pilled community is something you really want to stay far away from. It's truly the lowest denominator where guys like Elliot Rodger hang around. Basically, if you're black-pilled, you're another lowly incel just like Elliot Rodger, and at that point, there's nothing left to do but get professional help. And finally, we return to normality with the purple pill. This is the final pill we'll be talking about today, and I think it's the most common way of thinking. A person who's taken the purple pill is someone who sees everything that the other pills are saying and goes, yeah, I understand, but I'm just gonna do things my own way regardless. Blue pill dudes are like, you just gotta put yourself out there. Red pill dudes are like, you need to be a Chad, and black pill guys believe you need to be genetically engineered to attract women. While purple pilled people are like, yeah, there's some truth in some of what each of you guys are saying, but I'm not gonna let any of that drag me down. Odds are, if you've heard these other pills and none of them apply to you, it's probably because you fall into this category, which I think is the most not only normal, but just the most human out of all of them. I've never been personally fond of labels. I've never been patriotic or vocally prideful of something that I like. So it's really weird to see these guys put themselves into a box like this. I'm a firm believer of like, yeah, there's someone out there for everyone, but if you don't work on yourself, you're not really living. And being able to look inward and change who you are is critical not just in the dating world, but in life in general. So with that, we've looked at all 4 major pills, and you've officially learned the meaning of something you didn't need to know. I'm glad I could help. Bye.